Doot doot. The new Zelda game has been out for a while, and I finally got my hands on it a few weeks ago. Thanks, Jam. I gotta say, the game is it's an absolute masterpiece. Hands down, one of my favorite games. I love what it does, despite its flaws, blah, blah, blah. I'm not here to talk about how great the game is. Plenty of people have done that already, and I pretty much just sum things up. No, today I want to talk about one specific feature in Breath of the Wild. Cooking. Among all the things I expected to enjoy in Breath of the Wild, cooking was definitely not actually on the list. I expected it to be a mostly bland, kind of shoehorned in mechanic with a few basic systems for creating food that heals you and occasionally gives you some kind of buff. Fast forward to last night, and I'm up until 3 a.m. gathering ingredients from monsters, animals, and plants just so I can sit outside a stable experimenting with the culinary arts underneath the stars as the game's fantastic music gets accompanied by the jingles that play when you cook. And as Link hums a cute little tune as the bits of food bounce around cartoonishly in a pot. The first thing you need to understand about cooking in Zelda is that there's far more to it than just grabbing some stuff and tossing them in. I mean, you can totally just do that, but you'll end up with really bad food that only heals a heart or two at most, with no special effects and this weird gross image that's actually censored. If you pay attention to the ingredients you use and think about what you're doing as if you were preparing an actual meal, albeit in an extremely simple way, you'll end up with better results that not only look more interesting, but feel satisfying to prepare. The second thing you need to understand about cooking in Zelda is that it does a fantastic job of mirroring and emphasizing the game's focus on exploration and self-driven discovery. A big part of Breath of the Wild is exploring a game world on your own, discovering incredible sights and mysteries. The cooking system compresses all this and kind of presents it to you in short bursts. Recipes driven by your own self-driven experimentation. You'll find yourself slowly dipping your toes into Zelda's culinary cornucopia, making simple dishes at first. A mushroom or two, some meat, maybe some herbs that you found. But as you adventure, your hunger grows. Not just for loot and secrets, but for the next big recipe that'll give you a kick-ass boost. Group that with the facts that you get ingredients from pretty much everything, and that different ingredients are found in different areas of the world, and suddenly you have another reason to explore every nook and cranny you see. Only this time it's not to save the world. No, it's about finding the perfect seasoning for that Staminoka bass that you grabbed from a lake with your own two hands. In some ways, cooking in Zelda is as wonderful and exciting as it is in reality. I'll concede the point that I haven't always been a big fan of cooking, and that more often than not, I just plain old don't friggin' feel like doing it. More often than not though, when I do cook and I try out a new recipe and it turns out incredible, perfect storm, I know, I feel absolutely just amazing. Working with your own hands to create something delicious is a reward all its own, and it's a feeling that can't really be compared to any other acts of creativity or artfulness because it's just so different. The sense of satisfaction and pride you get from plating something carefully and then biting in to discover the taste is far better than you thought it would be, it's enough to glue a smile on my face, as cheesy and sappy as that sounds. In Zelda, those feelings are almost perfectly captured and emulated with its cooking system. There's such a huge variety of ingredients and so many different recipes you can create that experimentation is the absolute core of this system. There's somewhere around 50 basic recipes that have been discovered so far, with more coming along every day. Again, basic, meaning that's just the amount of recipes that restore only hearts, no buffs or anything like that. While in-game you're not necessarily working actively with your own hands, the digging for recipes through experimentation and research lines up really well with what it's like in reality. It's a great little touch that Link stands there struggling to hold on to the pounds of food in his hands that he used to gather these ingredients and then tosses them into a pot. He makes this food that he's essentially fought for, and when a recipe is better than he thought it would be, he jumps for joy. Even now, with people sharing recipes they find, the act of looking recipes up online and picking out a few to try and make and customize is a part of the fun of cooking in reality that I never imagined would be captured in a game. And yet, here we are with Zelda, of all things, having enough details put into its cooking system to practically be a game of its own. I can't help but find myself wanting to drive to the store, pick up some ingredients, and make something. Breath of the Wild has made me want to spend more time in the kitchen, and that's a fantastic thing for a game to do. So what do you think about Breath of the Wild? Have any recipes from the game you'd like to try in your own kitchen? Let me know down in the comments. Also, I have to give a shout out to my friend Hamish, who runs the Writing on Games YouTube channel, for giving me some great feedback while I was writing this. Love you, boo-boo. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, remember to do the YouTube stuff and share this biz around, yeah? I'll see you next time. Bye!